16 months ago, I was just a night shifter in a third world country. I was earning $400 per month and I was getting 4 hours sleep because I needed to go to university and to follow the traditional path. And I was questioning my existence. And I had no idea what ghostwriting was. I had no idea what a personal brand was. But I did start writing online because I needed a way to clear my thoughts. So I used social media writing, online writing, as a way to share the lessons I learned in my life. And then I was lucky enough to have a break where I exploded to 500 followers on X just by posting. I didn't even engage. I didn't do any hacks. I just kept on posting. People started engaging on my content. And then I started seeing the potential of making money online. And so I went all in there. I invested $13,000 on coaches and courses to shorten my learning curve. And I was able to close one client. I was able to build a business. I was able to travel the world, and I was able to do cool stuff in 16 months. And I want to share with you 16 lessons that I learned during this time. This isn't me trying to be the know-it-all guru. It's more of the here's what I learned after getting kicked in the face for 16 months type of video. So hopefully it helps you. Lesson number 1 is that you have nothing to lose. This is my superpower whenever I feel down and I feel distraught. Especially when I was in my night shift job and I was not getting paid a lot and I wanted to make money and I wanted to make something of myself. So when I was broke and I was in my 20s, I had $5,000 in my bank account. And the company that I was working for was having a hard time paying its employees. And so there were times when we were earning $200 per month. And so I was trying to make moves to increase that because it wasn't even enough to sustain, my monthly living expenses. So just trying to find a way to make money online. And I started seeing people posting online on how you can make money, $3,000 per month minimum. And I was thinking, if I could just make half of that, I could make something of myself. I could already, have a stable income and live quite well. But then the problem was it was a lot of money. So it was very expensive. The minimum was about $5,000, which was in my bank account. And I was just contemplating on whether I should take the risk or not. But the reasoning that I put was that I was already broke and I'm in my 20s. So if my bank account goes to zero or even to debt, what's going to happen? I'm just going to be in the same place where I was before. I had a cushion of 5,000, but what am I going to do with that 5,000 in 20 years? If I don't move forward now, then that 5,000 is for nothing. So I'd rather risk that $5,000 and make something of myself, or not make something, fail, absolutely fail, but at least have tried, than to just sit there and wait for God to come to earth. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that when you're at rock bottom, it's the best foundation that you can have because the only thing that you can do is go up. So you can take asymmetric bets where you just pour down on the inputs to get the upside, And there's not really any downside because, again, you're at rock bottom. There's nothing worse that could happen. So if you take risks, then all there is winning or learning. There's not really any losing that's going to happen. So the second lesson is sort of connected, but basically there's no such thing as one day. There's only day one. And I've had this notion for a long time, and I think a lot of people also have it, where we always think, one day I will start posting on social media. One day I will start focusing on my fitness. One day I will have enough money to date someone or whatever it is. And we're always waiting for permission from the world as if we're not in control of our lives. We're always thinking we need this credibility, this instance to happen so that we can have the permission to do what we want. But that one day will never come, my friend. Trust me. That one day will never come because there is no perfect timing. You can only make the time perfect. Meaning you have to take risk and then work towards making it perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be messy. So you have to act now and make those dreams happen, even just an inch better every single day. Just make it better every single day. It doesn't need to happen overnight, but you need to start now. Day one. Today is day one. Not wait for one day. Act now. And the best thing about this is when you start acting now, when you start moving towards your dreams when it is hard, guess what's going to happen when things free up and things are going to be easy? That's when your dreams are going to happen. You know, when you're moving when things are hard, then when things are easy, you're just cruising through it, right? It's just going to be so easy that things will just happen and you're going to be seen as an overnight success. So start now and you will achieve your dreams much faster than waiting for that one day. So the third lesson, one of my favorites, fail fast, learn faster, iterate the fastest. It's a bit connected to Mark Zuckerberg's idea of go around and break things. I'm forgetting the exact quote from him, but in Facebook, it was a very revolutionary idea. Facebook was one of the pioneers of social media, if not the pioneer of social media. And Mark Zuckerberg used to talk about that. He was just trying to make things work and to test things and to see if it works or not. And I think that's a very valuable principle for people's lives, is that you will never learn if something works if you don't test it. And so you should be willing to fail. And the faster you can fail, the faster you can figure out what doesn't work, the faster you will figure out what does work. And so I like to fail fast. Like whenever I have a shot, I just take it. Like just how with the Money X thing, with the online business thing, I was just trying, man. I was just like, put an offer, and then see what sticks. And at the beginning, it's just going to be like that. A lot of people want to be perfectionists and try to make the perfect product before you launch it. I think there's a value in that. But if you're a beginner and you have no idea what you're doing, the best thing you can do is just try and fail. But as you fail, you learn. So you learn, why did this fail? Oh, okay, because there was no guarantee. I didn't give enough guarantee to my prospect that this would work. Why did this fail? Oh, it's because I didn't launch it enough. I didn't build an audience. I just launched it to the void and expected that people would just come to me. I should have been more strategic. So you see how, because you're failing a lot, you're learning on what is happening, what the wrong things are, and you are able to iterate the fastest. you are going faster than everyone in your industry because you are just willing to fail more. You're just willing to fail more, willing to learn more, therefore you can iterate more. So that's third lesson. Just keep going, man. The fourth lesson is to bet on assets, especially yourself. This is something that has been refreshed in my mind lately, because I got a lot of success with the online business, and I was able to do a bunch of cool stuff. I traveled Europe just a few months ago, met some clients. I was able to move to a better apartment. Before, I was like living in it was, I don't know, 10 square meter apartment. I was in a smaller apartment, and things have been going well, but I felt like I was behind because the people on the internet just kept on showing how much money they were making and how many cars they were buying, how many watches they were having. And although that's nice, I have nothing against people who want to buy the things they want to buy. I just think that there's a skewed perception of prestige on the internet, meaning people will show you what looks good on the internet, but they won't show you what looks bad. And the people who I envied because they had all those luxury materials, they didn't really have the assets. Like, ironically, they just had the money, but they didn't look like they had it figured out. And what I learned from a friend of mine, Corey Woodward, who is building, I would say, one of the fastest growing businesses as well, on the sidelines. Then he doesn't even post about it. He just told me that, bro, you're winning. And if you just focus on the assets that you're building, you will continue to win. All the fancy cars and watches that you're seeing on the internet, it's just noise. Focus on the assets. Focus on the business that you're building. The house that you have, that's another asset. Focus on assets, meaning objects that you buy that give you more money. It's not just an expense, because a car is an expense. You buy the car, if anything, it's a liability, because when you buy a car, you will have to maintain it, you will put gas on it, and although it does put you to places, I don't need a car. But because of the prestige of the internet, I have this idea that I need it, even though I don't want it. So, anyways, going back to what I was saying, you have to focus on assets. Buying things that would give you more money. And the best asset, honestly, is yourself. And so invest more on yourself. Focus on getting more knowledge, getting more experience, growing your network. Recently, I've gone back and studied philosophy. I've just bought a couple of philosophical books. It's not really a philosophy book, but Dante's Divine Comedy. It's not really a philosophy book, but I've never read it. I've always wanted to read it. I've also bought Dostoevsky's Notes from the Underground. And those things, I didn't touch them for a year. For those 16 months, these 16 months that I'm going through right now, I didn't touch them because I thought, oh, it's not going to give me money. It's not going to translate to my business. But it's my inner curiosity. It's something that I've always loved to do. I've always loved reading books for the sake of reading them. And so I started exploring them again because I believe that's an investment on myself. So focus on assets, especially yourself, not on the people on the internet and the noise within there. Right. So the next lesson, this is more technical, but sales isn't about tricking people. So a lot of people, they pride themselves, a lot of salesmen pride themselves into thinking that they can sell an ice to an Eskimo. And I think that's great. That idea is great. To be able to sell something to someone even though they don't need it. If you're that confident, kudos, good for you. But I think it's a very misleading idea of what sales is. Because sales isn't about selling someone what they don't need. It's about providing value for people in exchange for their hard-earned money. Meaning that your product should be solving a problem, not just, I can sell an ice to an Eskimo because I'm that good in sales and I can make money. No, it's not about tricking people. It's about helping them. It's about listening to your customers' problems, seeing if your product is the right fit, and then helping them making an informed decision on whether they should buy your product or not. Because now, if your product is not the solution they're looking for, then you shouldn't be forcing it onto them. Like, instead of selling ice to an Eskimo, you should be selling heaters. You should be selling hot chocolate. You should be selling basically things that make people warm. Don't sell them what they don't need. Solve their problems. So stop trying to please people. Stop trying to persuade people. Start qualifying them, seeing if they're the right fit for your business. You are not selling to people. They are buying from you. All right. So the next lesson is you have to track everything. And that was a very hard thing for me to accept because I was an artistic entrepreneur, meaning I got into entrepreneurship with the idea that I can create anything I want and people will buy from it. And although that could be true, that's not how business works. In the real world, business is a numbers game. And the reason why that's the case is because what you measure gets improved. And businesses are made for profit. You want to maximize your profit. And if you don't know what you're measuring, if you're not measuring anything at all, then you can't make profit. You won't be able to improve your business if you're not tracking everything. And so when I hired a sales coach, when I hired one of the best sales coaches that I had, Corey Woodward, the guy I mentioned earlier, that's what he told me, man. He just told me to measure everything. Just measure everything. Measure the outreach that you have. So how many DMs do you send every day? How many comments do you send? When you post something, what's the conversion rate? How many people click your profile? How many people follow you? How many people subscribe to your email list? Track your numbers. Because when you track your numbers, things become predictable. If you know that if you post if you post 5 posts every week, you will have 3 leads, and for 3 leads you will close 1 client, then you know that you should aim 5 posts per week for 1 client. And then you can start having predictions on, okay, if that's the case and we want 20 clients, then we just have to ramp it up. We just have to post as much content as possible, and we will reach that goal. You know what I'm saying here? It's really a numbers game where you see correlations, causations, and you start creating a system wherein you put inputs, you give inputs, you put work in, and the machine works, and you get the clients. But the key there is for you to track your numbers. Track your numbers. So that's a very, very hard lesson for me to learn because I like doing things intuitively. But it's an important part of business, man. If you're creating a system like a business, then you have to track. Because what gets measured gets improved. All right, number 7, very valuable lesson that I learned as well, is to know the business that you're in. And what I mean by that is you have to see the highest leverage thing that you can do so that you can pull it and you will make money. Here's an example. McDonald's. When you think of McDonald's, what do you think their business is? Most people would think it's burgers and fries. It's food. But no, they are not in the food business. They are in real estate. Because I think Ray Kroc, he understood that if he can buy the land and put McDonald's in the best places in the world, people will come because they already have proven that their food works. They have the cheapest food. It's cheap. People want it. People love it. And so if you can just find the right position for the business, then people will come. And because he figured this out, he just focused on real estate. He didn't even focus on making the food anymore. He just focused on buying the right land. And that alone made McDonald's one of the biggest brands on earth. And this is something that I've also applied in my ghostwriting business. When you hear ghostwriting, you think, oh, it's about writing. It's a writing business. No, it's not. It's not a writing business. Although writing helps, just like how making good food in McDonald's helps, the business of ghostwriting or any agency model is customer experience. And that means that if you can make your customer happy, if you can give them a positive customer experience, get them the results, build a relationship, and give them a roadmap of where you're going to go. They have a plan, a continuous plan of evolution where they will continue to grow with you, then you'll succeed because they will be loyal to you and they will get you the customers that you need as well, right? And so that's the agency model. The agency model is not about your design or your writing or any other agency. It's not that. It's about customer experience. So find the highest leverage thing in your business, the highest leverage activity in your business, and focus on that. The 8th lesson is to build in public. What do I mean by that? A lot of people are scared of posting online or sharing their ideas because they think that their brilliant idea is gonna get stolen. But I hate to break it to you, if you're one of those people, most ideas are not great. If anything, most ideas fail, just like how most businesses fail. Yeah? Only 10% of businesses succeed, 90% fail. And so you have to realize that your brilliant idea might not be a brilliant idea. It might be something that was thought of by someone before, and he already tried it and he failed. But the only way for you to know if your idea is brilliant or not is to test it. And the best way to test it at this age is to post content. So post your content, post your idea online. Don't be scared. Post it and you will see whether that idea is good or not based on the reaction of people. And that's what's so beautiful about the social media world, about the online world, is that you can test ideas. You don't even need to take crazy risks. You don't have to think of, before, for people to know if their idea is valuable, they have to go door to door and ask people, hey, do you want, for example, if someone was to figure out if a laundry business is good, they would go door to door and ask, hey, do you need laundry? Do you need laundry? Do you need laundry? Now you can broadcast that to millions of people in the world. You can be like, hey, is anyone here interested in, selling, creating books? And when people react to it, oh, it's a great idea. Okay, let's build upon this. So that's the value of building in public. posting your ideas online, because then you can verify them. This is sort of what I did with my business. I had no idea what business I didn't even think of building a business. I was just thinking, I'm going to write online because I have thoughts. And then some of them were verified. People started liking them. People started following me. So I was like, oh, okay. So I guess there's something in this internet thing. And then I started building from there, and then I built this business, and now I'm talking to you. Super cool. Lesson number 9 is solopreneurship is a lie. And I'm not saying this, I'm not telling you to quit. I'm not telling you to stop. No, you can't build a business on your own. I think you can build a business on your own, but I think that it just isn't sustainable. And what I mean by that is most solopreneurs that I've met are just premium freelancers. They're freelancers that can charge higher because they've positioned themselves as a business. However, the thing with freelancers is that they're still trading their time for money. And what I mean by that is you need to work in order for the business to work. You need to post content or do outreach. You need to do specific things still to make money. The point of a business is for you to detach yourself from the system so that you can focus on things that matter to you. And I just find it difficult to imagine a world where solopreneurship will work in long term. This is why I hired someone within 90 days of having a business, because I knew that hiring someone will take a lot of energy as well, because I need to train them to how I operate, and I need to be able to get them into the culture, build my own culture even of how the working process is. I knew that I wanted to build something beyond myself so that I could focus on the higher level thinking, vision, strategy, not just thinking of everyday tasks of sending DMs or commenting. I knew that I wanted to build something that is a machine and that I could just steer it to where I know is the right path. So I would say try to hire early as you can, and hire people based on the character. Meaning, are they hardworking? Are they smart? And are they hardworking, smart, and are they honest? If they're hardworking, meaning they will hustle to get things done. They're smart. They know how to figure things out. You don't need to always tell them specific things. And then they're honest. They're trustworthy. They are not a crook. They won't fuck you over. Then they're a good person. They're a good partner. Because you can train skills, but those characters, they're not something you can train with. It's either they decide to be that person or they don't. So, solopreneurship is a lie. Hire and delegate as much as you can. All right. So, number 10 is authority is earned, not given. So, most people never post on the internet because they want to be an expert first. They think that they cannot post on the internet because they don't have a title, that only experts can post. But let me tell you something, my friend. This is insider information right here. Most of the people that you see online have no idea what they're doing. Trust me. Look at Mr. Beast. If you look at his old videos, he had no idea what he was doing. He was doing Minecraft stuff. And now he's not even doing Minecraft. PewDiePie. Think of all the influencers that you know. Joe Rogan. They don't have no credibility. They just started posting. And through them posting consistently, that's how they earned their authority. That's how they became an authority, because they started posting online, and they just kept going at it. And people started consuming their content. And because people started consuming their content, people started thinking, oh, this guy's legit. And so people associated Mr. Beast, Joe Rogan, and every other influencer as a legit influencer. They made their authority because they started posting online. So if you're scared, if you want to be an expert first, start posting online. That will make you an expert. Posting online will make you an expert. And here's the hack. If you're really scared of it, if you're like, you feel awkward talking about yourself, you feel like you don't have the credibility, what you could do is to borrow authority. Here's what I mean by that. Instead of talking about your life or talking about your experiences, talk about other more well-known and famous topics. For me, I borrowed authority through books. I wrote a lot of book reviews on Twitter, and I shared the lessons that I learned. From those books. And just like that, I was able to build an audience because, number one, I made the people interested in that book interested in me on my reflections. And number two, because they got interested in me, they got interested on the other content that I made, my stories. Another hack with that is you don't even need to make book reviews. You can create a podcast. That's another big leverage move that I made, and it's something that I learned from Jack Moses. It's just a collaborative effort because when you invite someone in your podcast, you're basically letting them borrow your audience as well, giving them a platform to share their insights, their ideas, their offers even. But you are also borrowing their authority. You are also borrowing their audience because you're getting them interested in you. So start doing content now, even though you're not yet an expert, because that's how you become an expert. And if you are too scared to share your own ideas, borrow authority from more well-known topics. All right, number 11. Trust is better than attention. A lot of people in this modern age talks about how attention is the new currency. But I believe that the only currency in the past, the present, and the future will be trust. Because trust is the foundation of any human transaction in the world. Without trust, there's no sales, there's no relationship, nothing will happen between humans if they don't trust each other. This is why I personally don't mind going not viral. What's the opposite of viral? Flopping. I don't mind my posts flopping. Like this video right here, I could care less if it gets like 10 views. But of course, hopefully it doesn't. I still love attention. I still love, your adoration. You watching, you there. I love it when you watch my videos. So keep watching and subscribe. All right. But kidding aside, it doesn't matter to me if I become well known if I'm not known well. Because if people, like you see a lot of people who become ultra famous, just like Britney Spears or Justin Bieber, who had no life except for the fame they had, and because of that, they didn't have any personality. As harsh as this sound, no offense to Britney Spears and Justin Bieber, you guys are great. It's just you see them being a product of the media, of what the media portrays them to be. They never really had an opportunity to show who they truly are because they just kept on running the media rat race. They were just trying to keep up a persona rather than really showing who they are. And so it is better to be known well than to be well known. If you're known well and you're well known, just like Joe Rogan, even Mr. Beast, if you're that, great. That's the ideal. Known well and well known. But if you have to choose, choose to be known well, because if people trust you, then they will bet on you. They will bring others to you. They will help you achieve your dreams. So stop trying to chase eyeballs and start earning people's belief. Right. Lesson number 12 is to stack your skills. AI is out here and it will replace a lot of jobs. But what it's not going to replace is you, my friend. You beautiful human being here watching. You will not be replaced by AI because you are a beautiful human being and you're creative. If you're watching this, you're creative. Tell yourself right now that you're creative. Because you are human, and the best skill that you have is to adapt. That's what kept us alive for all this time. Dinosaurs have died. Think about that. You beat dinosaurs, my friend. Just think about that for a second. You outlived dinosaurs. Know how cool that is? Know how cool it is that you outlived dinosaurs. You're cooler than a T-Rex. Yeah? You're cooler than a T-Rex because you're adaptable. And so AI might replace jobs, but what's going to happen to you is you're just going to evolve. Just like how a lot of jobs got replaced when Wi-Fi was created, when the internet was created. We just adapted. And it's the same thing. We will just adapt with this AI thing. And what's great is that all the repetitive tasks will be given to AI, and all you can do is do creative tasks. And it will be so creative that I believe everyone's going to be a creator. That's what I believe. Because everything's going to be just AI. And so we're all going to be doing artistic stuff. And so this adaptation is something that I have tried to do recently, where, I'm a ghostwriter again, right? And most ghostwriters just post content online. But for me, I don't just post content because that's something that AI can do. Someone can record themselves talking to their phone and then put that transcript on ChatGPT, and the ChatGPT will create a post. That's something that they can do. So what did I do? Instead of just posting on social media, I started learning how to craft offers. I helped my clients how to craft offers. I helped them build the funnels. I helped them make sure that their online business succeeds, not just in the social media realm, but in every aspect of it. How to build emails, how to build funnels, how to build communities. I helped them succeed. And that's how I continue to go ahead of AI and even the other writers in the industry. So, you're irreplaceable. Keep that in mind and keep going. So, number 13. Almost there. If you're still watching this, great. You are awesome. But you need to remember that you need to build your business around your life, not the other way around. I am a big believer in seasons. I believe that there are seasons to push, that there are seasons to pull back, there are times to sprint, and there are times to slow down and take care of yourself. But I do believe that your business should be adding to your life in all those seasons. I believe that your business should not be taking more of your time away from you, but should be giving you an opportunity to enjoy your life, because that's the point of you making money. Like, literally, I completely forgot about this. The reason why I wanted money was to do cool stuff, but then I forgot to do cool stuff because I just focused on making more money. And so now I'm trying to reprogram my life, wherein I put my health, my relationships, and my curiosities first before my business. So why I'm creating this content actually. This content, I have no idea if this is going to land me leads as a ghostwriter. I have no idea. But I'm making this content just because I enjoy it. It's my creative purpose. And so I have now decided that my business is something that will add to my life. And that I can have a time, and that I have the time because I have the money to buy it because of the business that I built. Now, there are some people who are hustling hard. I have a mentor who is going all in with his business because he is moving towards an exit. So what he's doing right now is he's spending a lot of time in his business and preparing for an exit. And he's just trying to get the revenue as high as possible so that he can exit very well, right? And when you exit, you will have a lot of money and you'll have like just an abundance of resources that you can use to maybe build another business or for the things that you wanted. Again, I think there's a season for that. I think there's a season for you to hustle. But if you are building for an exit or you're building for a lifestyle business, just like what I'm doing, remember that your business should add to your life, not the other way, not take away from it. So that's 13th lesson. 14th lesson, follow your talent, not just your passion. So there's this trend in 2010s, maybe it's still a trend right now, but people always tell you to do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. But the problem with that career advice is most people don't know what makes them happy. If you say, I am happy when I have money, then people will just do whatever they need to do money, which includes a lot of maybe illegal stuff even, right? But what I learned is instead of looking for a job that makes you happy and doing what makes you happy, look for the values in your life that make you happy. For example, taking care of my family is something that makes me happy. Traveling the world is something that makes me happy. Making an impact with my words, with my story, that makes me happy. And those are my passions. But what will allow me to do those stuff is to have a predictable source of income. That's why I followed my talent, which is copywriting, ghostwriting. Because I have all these passions of my jobs, like basketball makes me happy. A guitar makes me happy. I can do all those passions, but I know that the biggest talent that I have that has been verified because people sign with me is my writing capabilities. And so I focus on building a business based on that, based on the right founder product market fit that I have established. So don't try to do what makes you happy. Look at what you're good at. Look at what you're good at can provide value to the market, and look at what the market needs, and then align those three: the founder, product, market. Find the founder, product, market fit, and you'll be good, and you'll have enough time for your passions. Number 15, seek wealth, not money or status. This is a lesson from Naval, and it was something that I've heard but didn't really hit me until I've lived it. Because for 16 months, for 16 months, I chased money and status. I tried to look successful online because I thought it was the way for you to close clients. I think you needed to look a certain way to be, like Iman Godzi, all right? Lamborghinis and traveling and hot chicks. I thought that was the way for you to present yourself online. I tried to build a brand that made me look like I had it all figured out. But I realized that seeking status and money is a zero-sum game, because you are always comparing yourself to people. You're trying to be better, smarter, richer, and more valuable than everyone else. And it's exhausting, man. Like, it's draining for you to always be thinking of other people rather than thinking of what you really want. You would never get happier. You just get more greedy and anxious for more approval, more validation, and more noise. But wealth, I would say, wealth is something that gives you freedom. The freedom to do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want. There's no boss or schedules. You're just chasing your curiosity and your creativity. And I almost missed this because I was too focused on looking good. So start looking for, again, assets that would compound over time, especially yourself. Look for yourself and stop trying to get rich. Focus on getting wealthy. Finally, the last lesson is to focus on your character, not your results. So a lot of people are obsessed with goals. A lot of people set goals just like how they set a goal to make $1 million per year, or they want to build a 7-figure, 8-figure company. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. However, I think that it's not the final destination. I think that results should be a consequence, not a goal. Because what happened to me before, when I set a goal of making $10,000 per month, is that I thought that I've hit my peak. And so I got comfortable. And so I stopped doing the things that got me there because I just thought of the result. And so I plateaued and I didn't know what to do anymore. And so I didn't know what to do anymore. And so things went downhill. Like, things started disintegrating. And the only thing that fixed me during this time was to stop setting more goals and to start just focusing on my character. Start just focusing on, who do I want to become? Not what I want, but who do I want to become? I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew that I wanted to be a writer. I knew that I wanted to be a creator. So why not just practice that? And starting then, I stopped focusing on the goals, stopped focusing on the outcomes, and just started being who I wanted to be. Because I'm an entrepreneur, I will build businesses. Even if I'm making $10,000, $20,000, even $100 per month, it doesn't matter. I will continue to build businesses because I'm an entrepreneur. Because I'm a writer, I will write even if no one reads it. I will continue to write. Because I'm a creator, I will continue to create content. Even if no one watches it, no one consumes it, it doesn't matter. It's a reflection of who I am, of who I want to be. And so my identity has turned into a practice. Rather than focusing on the outcome and the results, I built a character that I admire. And I think that's the most important thing about business. It's not about the business that you built, but the person you become in the process. So those are the 16 lessons that I learned, and I'm still fumbling. I'm still figuring out. But if you're in the game and you are trying to figure things out, then I hope this has provided you some inputs in your life. And I hope it helps. And let me know if you have any addition in the comments. I would love to listen to them. And cheers.